river regulation. Luminaries working in different sectors of water have come from all over India, and now the program is soon going to start. I request Nagaraj Ganguly to escort Madam Shilpa Nagji on the dais. I request to escort Sudhindra Kumarji on the dais. I also request Andurang Prabhuji to escort Yashwant Dongre sir from Chanakya University. I request Videshji to escort chairman of our Vyakti Vikasa Kendra India Trust. Dr. Lingaraj, yes, yeah, right. I offer, let's all offer humble pranams to Gurudev, who has made it possible to happen this program. And I request all of you to stand up and chant a mantra with me. All of you stand up, please. Om Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Satyamayi, Parame. 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 Thank you, sir. Well, just last year, from 8th of November till 16th, there was a climate program in Egypt. COP27 was held in Egypt. And well, just 16th, the World Economic Forum is discussing on issues related to climate and how business has to be done in Davos, Switzerland, where Guruji is also there. So aptly, this program, Resilient Riverine Ecosystem, has been organized in this very historic place, Art of Living, where Guruji started single-handedly and currently which has presence in more than 160 countries and volunteers. It's the biggest volunteer-based organization. So this volunteer-based organizations has been working in different areas of life, be it working in tribal areas, or it is in disaster management, or on issues like women empowerment, or poverty alleviation programs, or natural resource management, such as for which we have all gathered here today. For this program, which is so very apt when we are discussing about climate change, and 2020 onwards till now, all over the world we have witnessed different countries have witnessed disasters, and finally they have started believing the fact that climate change is a reality. So Art of Living realized all these things long back and started working on natural resource management much earlier. Dr. Lingaraj started working on river rejuvenation way back in 2010 itself, and Guruji blessed, and this is the first officially drawn program on river rejuvenation in India, where his huge experience of more than 3.5 decades in water resource management helped him to devise methodologies to work on the river rejuvenation. What started with Kumadwati, then started Vedavati, then we have spread in Uttar Pradesh, Koshi River, Bundelkhand and Nashik, and Naga Nadi in Tamil Nadu. So this has been accepted throughout the country today. Now for this very important symposium where there are people from Central Groundwater Board, National Institute of Hydrology, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, engineering college like RMIT, Bangalore, and then a number of non-governmental organizations and farmer scientists and lot of art of living practitioners like Madhav Gumare, Chandrasekhar Kuppan and Nagaraj Gangoli who took technology and made river rejuvenation a reality. For this very program, this symposium, we invited Archana Varmaji, who is a National Water Missions Director. She is going to join us sometime later. Someone who advocates very seriously about the 5 R's of water, and someone who says that it is involvement of the stakeholders which is very, very important for the achieving the objectives of National Water Mission. Well, on your behalf, on behalf of Art of Living, I welcome her, and she will be joining little later since she has some problem right now. She will be joining us sometime later. Now, and Shilpa Nag, someone whom we met in her office, who is a very dynamic officer belonging to 2014 IAS cadre from Karnataka. She is a postgraduate in human resource management and also an MBA. And her work, especially during COVID, has been phenomenal. She created doorstep health services for the poor, and then also she saw to it that even the beggars are not left from COVID vaccination. And that's when we met her in her office about river rejuvenation and various other projects that we are now commencing like Jalatara in Karnataka. She was immediately, she received her views, and she has been, it's a pleasure to work with Madam, and I'm happy that she is here. I request Viresh ji to honor Madam, and I welcome her on behalf of Art of Living. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Madam. In fact, we recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Chanakya University. Chanakya University is the first new education policy compliant university in the country, and which is coming up near Devanandi Airport. We have the Vice Chancellor of Chanakya University, Professor Yashwant Dongre. Professor Yashwant Dongre is he has enormous contribution. Started his career as an academician for 4 decades experience. He is also visiting professor of one of the university in Japan, and he has been involved actually he was involved as a director PG Center of Mysore University, and he has published more than 100 journal articles, and he has 8 edited books to his credit. And his projects, he received, he did projects from Ford Foundation, Supriya Foundation, Hong Kong, and University of Technology, Sydney, International Cooperative Alliance. He has been working for a very long time how to utilize cooperative movement for the benefit of the farmers. We are very happy to have you, sir, here this morning for the inaugural program. I request Neerav ji to honor, welcome and honor our guest, Yashwant Dongre ji. Yeah, 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 right. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah. With us, I had a very good opportunity to spend some time with Sudhir Kumarji. Sudhir Kumarji has come in the past to Art of Living Center, and he has put in more than 3 decades of his experience in hydrological investigations. Basically, from national, he is currently director of National Institute of Hydrology, and he has his PhD in earth science and his post graduation in applied geotechnology. And his work on hydrology is throughout India. I should mention of the fact that his studies are even in the state of Karnataka, and one related to Malaprabha and some in Chitradurga also. He has been coordinating for a number of years for, they have a center in National Institute of Hydrology, has a center in Belgaum. He is very well versed with our state, and we're happy to have you here, sir. And his major work today is on use of isotopes. And I'm sure we will be having, he's going to be here for the next 2 days. We will be having his rich experience known to us so that we can incorporate some of his findings in our works. So he has more than 75 publications and more than 100 papers, and a very well-known scientist in the field of hydrology. Sir, we are so glad to have you here, and I request Nagaraj Gangoli, who he also happens to work in the river sector for a long time, to honor our guest, Sudhir Kumarji. Now, I have to speak about Dr. Lingraju sir. Dr. Lingraju sir belongs to a dynasty, I must say. He belongs, his lineage, his great-grandfather. His great-grandfather, he gave away all his property to build one of the biggest tank in the state of, in the city of Bangalore, which is about 490 acres lake. And that was the lake which his great-grandfather built to provide drinking water to the city of Bangalore. So now, Dr. Lingaraj carried those genes with him, and for more than 3.5 decades, he worked in different departments related to water. He was in Water Resource Department. He was in Karnataka Power Corporation. He also worked in, he's a founder director of Karnataka State Remote Sensing Applications Center, where he closely worked with the ISRO and developed methodologies for aquifer recharge. And he is, I should say, Bhagirath of river rejuvenation in our organization. And today his methodologies have been accepted wherever we are talking about river rejuvenation. And the success is one at Kumudvati, Vedavati, Naganadi river rejuvenation, and then recently in Bandelkhand, and one in Nasik, and Kosi river in Uttar Pradesh. So, well, this very confluence of intellectual minds working on river and water sector is the cause of that. The reason behind that is Dr. Lingaraju, and then I request Chandrasekhar Kuppanji to honor him and welcome him on behalf of all of us here. Thank you so much, sir. Now, Now, for this program, uh, former scientists from ISRO and professors from different universities like Dr. Petkar from Solapur University and Dr. Kushalappa from University of Agriculture Sciences and Horticulture Sciences, ex-NABARD Chief General Manager Kumur sir has come, and lots of scientists have come from different organizations. I welcome on behalf of Art of Living and behalf of all our collaborators, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Chanakya University, University of Agriculture Science and Indian Institute of Management. Thank you so much. Now we will move on to the next part of the program. I request Dr. Lingaraju to give the background of this conference before Dr. Lingaraju gives background of this symposium. I request. So we will begin this program, this auspicious program, by lighting the lamp. I request all the guests to. Yeah. Well, there's a flaw. Just one second, one second. Well, um, in the hurry to complete my program, I mean, looking at the time. Dr. Prasanna Prabhu, who is Prasanna Prabhuji, he is, what I must say, anything I say about him is less. At the age of 24, he came to Art of Living from a very different background. As a youth, he was working with Amitabh Bachchan's ABC Corporation marketing episodes for the national television. And that is the time where he got transformed after coming into Art of Living. He met Guruji, and from there, no stop. From there on, no stop at all. His mission in life is to take Art of Living courses to every nook and corner of the planet. So with that objective, he is here, and he, in the earlier years, he worked in Sri Publications. From there on, he has moved on to the Vyakti Vikasa Kendra India, and he is so dynamic, and he inspires each one of us, and he is a fantastic singer. He sings so well. His satsangs are very, very popular. I missed his satsang in Bombay very recently. He is an amazing personality and somebody who is down to earth. Someone who is down to earth, and that's the reason he is with us, where anything that we give it to him, it means success. So with his, ever since he has taken over as the chairman of our organization, we have spread our tentacles in different areas, be it farmer producer companies, or be it is lighting of the solar in some states where it is required, tribal projects, or it is watershed projects again from NABARD, or else river rejuvenation projects in different states. So all this we could do because of his inspiration. Because well, I'm 64, but when look at Prasanna ji, he is somebody who has huge experience in a big organization like this, and that too a volunteer organization. This is very, very important. Our organization is so different from other organizations because it's a voluntary based organization where we fight, but then we again patch up. That's a thing. So, well, we are very, very happy to have for all the support that our chairman is, rendering to us. I request Niravji to honor our chairman. We'll now move on to lighting the lamp. I request all the guests of honor and chief guests to help us in lighting the lamp. request all of you to stand up from this slide. I now request Dr. Lingraju to give background note of this very symposium.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. Respected Chairman Sir, Shilpa Nagji, Dr. Sudhir Kumar, Professor Dongre, all the scholars and academicians and experts in the water sector, it is my privilege to share the concept of resilient riverine ecosystem. The topic of this today's subject to be deliberated. Each and every part of the land system happens to be the part of any riverine ecosystem. The interplay of atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere have given rise to the biosphere, combinedly forming the riverine ecosystems. In the Earth's history, these ecosystems have evolved like cradle of life. There has been many geogenic processes as well as anthropogenic activities, where anthropogenic activities increased the distortion of balanced geogenic processes, which led to the disasters, as you all know. In order to make the human life more comfortable, there has been overexploitation of the natural resources exceeding the limits, resulting in scarcity of water and negative change in the climate. In ancient days, the traditional knowledge evolved by the keen observation of the natural processes by our sages. They have scripted it. Such knowledge kept the ecosystem intact. So-called developmental activities stressed on existed balanced nature, which made our perennial rivers dry, forests disappear. Then there has been drastic land use change, which aggravated the negative impacts. The development of science and technologies applied without caring the nature's balance is being experienced. Pujya Gurudev's vision and his words addressed the volunteers for Better India motivated us to take up rejuvenation of rivers as social projects since 2012. Scientists, engineers, social workers got together to analyze the causes of adopting the geophysical technologies and planned cost-effective, innovative, and eco-friendly methods. This resulted in increasing the groundwater potential, initiated environmental flows in the network of streams of river basins. The adoption of the managed aquifer recharge, a major nature-based solutions in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and parts of Maharashtra became exemplary. Presently, we are working on more than 70 streams of different river basins covering 5 states. The purpose of this present symposium is to create climate resilient riverine ecosystem at micro level of gram panchayats, simultaneously in macro level covering the river basins. To converge the knowledge and experiences earned by the best practices and also create models for resilience in diversified geological and agroclimatic terrains. Chanakya University has joined us to build up the knowledge system globally and publish integrated knowledge system worldwide. Jal Shakti Ministry, through the National Institute of Hydrology, has joined us as a research partner to come out with climate resilient gram panchayats. Shivapanayaka Horticulture University is collaborating research on agro-horticulture, agroforestry, and IIMB is associating for appropriate project managements. With this background, we approach the experts, experienced scientists, and engineers to contribute the expert knowledge and the extended abstracts through extended abstracts. And we received many of them, out of them 35 have been selected and they are going to be presented in these 2 days. I welcome all the scholars, administrators, nature lovers, and social workers to participate in this symposium to drive the vision of Gurudev, creating resilient riverine ecosystem. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lingras sir, for the background note that you have provided, where more than 35 papers came. We have shortlisted 35 papers for presentation in the next 2 days, and I'm sure these deliberations will help us in drawing a roadmap for the future for the riverine ecosystem development in this nation and to take this model anywhere else in the world. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Madam Shilpa Nagji to speak a few words from her experience of river rejuvenation associating with art of living.
So when you say few words, what is the time I have? So, Rangoli ji, can we have the presentation? So very warm good morning to all of you. I think it's a perfect Bengaluru morning. I'm a Bangalorean myself. And today I'm coming into Art of Living Center after at least a decade, if I'm not wrong. So I studied in Bangalore. So my association with Art of Living, not very formally, but it was like a road trip, for me and my best friend on a scooty. We would just zip all the way from Jayanagar. We would just come to Art of Living. And we would take a walk in the lawn and in the gardens and everything, inhale the fresh air, get a lot of spiritual energy, and also have free food, which was really great and nutritious. So I just, recalled all those memories and moments, and then I just realized that why am I not coming after that? So anyway, I think it's like a second win for me, and now that I'm here, it is something beautiful which I thought I should again, start doing. So I've been in this hall before, in the meditation sessions that were being conducted and all that. So it's wonderful to be back. And it's a very beautiful, I think, harmony that is being generated today. A lot of scientific, enthusiastic, inquiring minds in a very spiritual sort of a setup. So I think it's a beautiful intermingling. And during our government programs, I'm an IAS officer from the 2014 batch, and luckily I'm from Karnataka, and I was ready to work anywhere, but I got my home cadre, Karnataka cadre. My experiences include working as Assistant Commissioner and SDM in Udupi. After that, I worked as CEO Zilla Panchayat in a district called Haveri, which is right in the middle of Karnataka, in between Davangere and Hubli. And mostly it has socio-culturally and economically and climatically, it is more close to the northern Karnataka districts. I worked in RDPR in different capacities, like Commissioner of Panchayati Raj. Right now I'm Commissioner of Rural Development, taking care of the largest employment guarantee scheme in the world, Mahatma Gandhi Narega scheme. And I have been in the capacity building wing of RDPR. Till recently, I was in e-governance also in the RDPR department. So I think it's a very beautiful journey so far. And during our government programs, whenever there are government programs, and stage program is something which is compulsory, I always find it very uncomfortable to sit on a stage and then have this kind of a formal interaction. I would just prefer, just face-to-face dialogue sort of a thing. But anyway, that is how things are done. And in a stage program, even in the government sector, there is stage program, speakers are being introduced, or the guests have been, introduced, and also thanking for sparing their valuable time and, being here. And all the people sitting there is like, okay, stop praising each other and, get done with it. Let's start the real thing. So I'll just try to make, what I want to talk today a little more relevant to this group of people. So why climate change, why mitigation, why water conservation? I don't think I need to start with all that. I'm sure you're more well-versed than I can ever be in all these sort of disciplines. So let me just give you a brief introduction of what Karnataka is doing in this area. And before that, I want to thank Art of Living, the entire family. And I was talking to Mr. Prasanna, not Dr. Prasanna. So Mr. Prasanna, about how many centers are there of Art of Living worldwide? He said 180. I was like, okay, 180 centers, that's good. Then he said, no, 180 countries. And I was like, FIFA World Cup, you have 192 countries. At least that's what I remember when I stopped watching FIFA last. So that it was amazing, all the right intent and energy that is going. And Art of Living has been coordinating and working with Rural Development Commissionerate and the RDPR department in Karnataka. So RDPR is Rural Development and Panchayati Raj Department. At the Government of India level, there are two different ministries, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, and then all this comes under Ministry of Jal Shakti also. But usually in the state, it's a combined department. Most states have this kind of a model. So RDPR department, Art of Living, has been working for multiple years. And there is this program called Antarjal Chetana. So basically a rejuvenation of groundwater or recharge of groundwater and all the water conservation structures that we undertake, right from planning, design, implementation, monitoring, and O&M. They've been actively involved, and not just in terms of knowledge and technology and designs, but also in terms of actual capacity building at the ground level to our Gram Panchayats. In Karnataka, we have 5,962 Gram Panchayats, and we have around 30,000 villages, revenue villages under that. We have 227 block panchayats or taluk panchayats, and we have 31 zilla panchayats. So we had 30 districts. Vijayanagara is the new district which was carved out of Ballari. So Art of Living has been instrumental in actually taking this Antarjala Chetana program to the grassroots. And the more number of hands we have, we want all hands on deck, and they've been there. And of course, with no expenditure at all. It's not that, it's not a sponsored program, it's not a funded program, exclusively and especially on a voluntary basis. And I want to congratulate and thank them and bring it on record that Government of Karnataka, especially the RDPR department, in my personal capacity and professional capacity as Commissioner, I really want to express my heartfelt gratitude to your entire team. And Dr. Nagraj, Mr. Nagraj. Huh? Nagraj is fine. Okay. Yeah, I think, and I think Dr. Nagraj Ganguly ji, I think he's been very active. So every time, for everything, he's like, I'm like, just drop me a message on WhatsApp, just give me a call, you don't have to come. Then he'll insist that no. And then multiple times I've met the team. Right now, whatever we are doing, Jalasanjeevani, which I'll be presenting, art of living is a very, very core part of this entire exercise. So Jalasanjeevani is basically planning of NRM works or natural resource management works, basically water and soil conservation works in Narega. So why it is important and what we are doing is something I'll be presenting very shortly. But Art of Living is one of the organizations and one of the very important organizations which is working with the core team in Karnataka, right from the design of this project to implementation, project management, capacity building, and even having a lot of people on the ground to monitor the scheme and ensure that planning leads to implementation and then to monitoring. So that is something I want to again thank the entire team. And we are also bringing out a compendium of water recharge structures, the modern innovative designs and low cost technologies that can be, utilized, and the estimate costs and everything. And we have a brilliant set of engineers who have worked in the field for 30, 40 years who retired, who have also kindly agreed to actually give those inputs for our compendium, and that is also well appreciated. So I have a very small presentation. Few words have already been completed. If you permit just 5 to 7 minutes, I'll take. Is that okay? Okay. So can I have a pointer or, okay. Please run it. Let's directly start with Jalasanjeevani because a lot of it is about climate change and agriculture, and I think this team. Okay, okay. Okay, you can keep moving till I say stop now, right now. Okay, just let's stop at this. When we come to Karnataka, even before we start Jalasanjeevani, I must say that, we have a lot of water bodies. Traditionally, there are 7 river systems and I think 2 lakh square kilometer of catchment area that we have. And apart from that, we have a lot of lakes, then we have ponds, then we have streams, and then we also have a lot of things called kalyanis, which are generally, having these steps and built-in traditional structures for drinking water, etc. And we have go-kattes. Go-kattes mainly started with, providing water for the cattle, the livestock that the farmers have. And traditionally in Karnataka, like many places in the country, we kind of had this interconnected network. And wherever there was not adequate groundwater and a large number of rivers that were flowing, this kind of network of ponds and lakes were always there. So right now, that kind of rejuvenation is something which we do in Narega. I already told you Narega is the biggest employment guarantee scheme in the world. And at the national level, the budget is 73,000 crores. And at the state level, we have 13 crore person days and around 8,000 crore budget per annum. And 5,000 crore of it goes to NRM works, that is soil and water conservation works. And there is this scheme or a campaign called the Amrit Sarovar campaign, wherein, it is exclusively focused on either creating new water bodies or rejuvenating water bodies. Creating new water bodies, not just in any area or forest area. Lot of, water bodies that are there in the revenue records are completely encroached upon. They may have become an agricultural field, they may have become a wasteland, illegal encroachment may have happened. So we are trying to identify and get that data from the revenue department and also try to take up as many water bodies as possible for rejuvenation. Along with that, we have also identified, lakes and water bodies which need desilting, maybe, which need a little bit of pitching and bunding and turfing works, inlet, outlet, wastewater construction and all that. So Karnataka is doing quite well in the Amrit Sarovar scheme. This August 15, 2022, we hoisted the national flag in 75 water bodies in each district of Karnataka. So right now the target is doubled by the coming this August. This already we are in 2023. We just need to do more. So around 5,000 water bodies will be rejuvenated under Amrit Sarovar scheme within Narega this year. In Narega, apart from Amrit Sarovar, always, we used to take up these kind of activities. So if you understand Narega, you know that it is mainly providing unskilled labor for the rural population. Karnataka's wage rate is 309 rupees per day, and we offer a maximum of 100 days per family per job card in a year. And generally, it is meant to supplement the income of people in the rural areas. So most of the people are non-land owning or very small and marginal farmers, and they go for agricultural labor, to others' fields generally. And whenever the seasonality of the agriculture is not there, they don't have work, it is being supplemented by Narega. So 50% Narega is mostly for community works and 50% is for individual asset creation like cattle shed, goat shed and other livelihood activities, extension of farmlands like horticulture crops, sericulture crops, etc. So that this is the scheme. In the last 3 years, if you can see there, we have created at least 21,311 water bodies that have been developed under Narega. Yeah, can we just go to Krishi Hondas farm ponds is something which we are doing as a individual beneficiary activity, and almost 1.8 lakh farm ponds have also been created. So only thing is that right now we are looking at seeing whether where farm ponds are necessary or any sort of water structure is necessary, what kind of water structure is necessary, exactly where to situate it and deduplicate, because there are multiple departments doing multiple activities and works. So that is something which we are doing in Jal Sanjeevani. Can we please move it? Next, okay. So the importance, the graph is a little erroneous, so let's only, previous please. So why we are doing Jal Sanjeevani, what is Jal Sanjeevani and why is it important? From the last 3 years, we were just analyzing data of how much we are spending. Yeah, just the previous slide. Okay, I think I'll just open it on my phone. So in the year 2019-20, so NRM works by mandate compulsorily at least 65% of the expenditure should be on NRM, natural resource management works. Like I told you before, it is water and soil conservation works, whether they are community works or individual works. So in the year 2019-20, in the state of Karnataka, we had done almost 65% NRM out of the total expenditure and executed 2,84,000 works with an expenditure of 2,848 crores. And if we come to 21-22, that is last financial year, we have almost 4,793 crores that is spent on NRM works. And this, the current year, which we are almost coming to an end, it is January. Our financial year is from, April to March 31st. We will be crossing 5,000 crore of expenditure on NRM works. So when a state is spending 5,000 crore rupees on some kind of a work, we just also need to see the kind of assets that are created and whether they are durable, whether they will sustain for a long time, whether they are relevant, whether they are required, and are they happening where it is required. So that is the main motivation behind introducing Jal Sanjeevani. Next. So Jal Sanjeevani is a very simple thing. It's nothing, it is not a rocket science. So this is an in-house logo that we have designed. It contains 3 elements. One is the environmental conservation or greening, represented by the color green. Then we have the water conservation, represented by blue. And then we have the soil conservation. Of course, it is brown, the soil. So this long-term, objective is to mitigate climate change, and only post-facto actions are being taken in the form of compensation and everything. So this is something that Narega can contribute to mitigate climate change and increase agricultural incomes and livelihoods of rural people. And completely, the planning is done using remote sensing and GIS technology. We have multiple technologies in the state of Karnataka. Our Karnataka GIS, I would proudly say that is the best in the country. We have around 800 layers of information, and a lot of layers which we need for our Narega NRM planning is available there. And Government of India is already using something called GeoManrega, which is a Bhuvan application where all the completed Narega assets are there. So we have integrated GeoManrega with Karnataka GIS, because Karnataka GIS contains multiple levels of information of assets created by other departments like minor irrigation, agriculture, watershed, etc., so that we can deduplicate also. And completely remote sensing and GIS technology based planning, and watershed or a rich to valley concept. So this is compulsory in Jal Sanjeevani. Can we just come next? So I think rich to valley is not something I should be talking about. I'm sure I should sit and listen to you. It's something which has been widely understood and used, and all the agriculture and watershed departments across the country are always using this. But this was not the case in Narega, and I thought that when we were using, spending 5,000 crore, and it planning is something which is important. Just to construct a house or something, we just have a lot of planning that goes into it. But implementation was very good, and Narega Soft started with work entry, but the planning aspects was physical in nature, of course done at the Gram Panchayat levels, participatory in nature, but not that rigorously scientific. So the scientific angle and the base is something which we are trying to bring in. Next. So again, the number of works when we work on a watershed or a micro watershed concept, not everything can be saturated at one go. Usually this is the concept of perspective planning. I'll just take some water. It's clearly audible, no? It's not echoing or anything. So on a saturation approach, we have taken a 3 to 5 year timeline. So in our circles, we use something called perspective planning, where we look at development as a comprehensive concept. And then instead of looking at what is the allocation, generally how the government schemes operate is that, okay, WCD or Women and Child Department, this is the allocation. Based on these allocations, we can identify these many beneficiaries, so that we will do this. So we have to just, we have turned the tables right now in RDPR department, and we start with planning the requirements, whether they are monetary, non-monetary, low cost, zero cost, or high cost. First of all, putting all the requirements together in the form of a perspective plan, and there are multiple processes in that also, and then allocating resources according to the requirements. So definitely the saturation cannot happen in one particular year. So we have taken a 3-year approach for Narega NRM planning. So the upper, ridge will be the first year, that is 23-24 coming year. Middle ridge will be the 24-25 year, and lower ridge will be 25-26. So in 3 years, we hope to saturate maximum part of rural Karnataka with the permissible works under Narega in a watershed concept. Next. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Okay, thanks. So this is the kind of a timeline that we have given and the steps and activities. We start with the socio-economic data aggregation at the Gram Panchayat levels. Basically, socio-economic data is available as a database in our project called Kutumba or Family ID. So almost all the citizen information is available there. We have plugged that in also. Otherwise, the vetting and verification and data entry happens at the Gram Panchayat level. And the creation of a lot of awareness about Jal Sanjeevani, and it is not something so scientific and remote that people can't participate. Basically, essentially, it is a community participation activity. So creating awareness and IEC activities at the Gram Panchayat and Taluk levels. Then a GIS based, then the second step would be water budgeting. So under Saksham program in Karnataka, all the Gram Panchayat are supposed to make a water budget. So very simple, in very simple ways, of course, the total requirement of water, the total sources, and what is the gap and how do we fill it. So water budgets have been, done in 2000 panchayats in Karnataka. A lot of panchayats outdated, 5-10 years ago, they had done the water budgets. So we have completed the water budgets in all the 5,962 Gram Panchayats right now. And that is a very important foundation and a basis for our Jal Sanjeevani NRM planning. And the third step would be GIS-based planning using multiple technologies, like I was telling you about Karnataka GIS and GeoManrega, which we use for tabletop planning. And then for ground truthing, we use something called a CLART app, which is developed by Foundation for Ecological Security, where once we plan it on the paper, on the screen, we go to the field and do a simple ground truthing. So I'll be talking about CLART app in the later part of my presentation. And the fourth step would be participatory rural appraisal activities, like I was talking about, participatory decision making. Because every planning that happens in RDPR department, in government schemes, there has to be Gram Sabha and Ward Sabha. Gram Sabha is basically a congregation and meeting of all the voters of a particular village or a Gram Panchayat, wherein, decisions are taken, and only once it is vetted by the Gram Sabha, that plan can be approved at other levels. So PRA activities, we have trained and we are successfully doing that, participatory rural appraisal activities and transit walk of the village, and then that is also being done wherever required. Focus group discussions, door-to-door demand collection is also done. And then there is a CLART app, and ground truthing is done through CLART app. And preparation of the draft detailed project report. So elaborate templates have been given both in English and Kannada. And these templates are onboarded on Panchtantra 2, which is our e-governance end-to-end ERP software, where we can monitor and look at the quality of the plans, randomly, taluk-wise, district-wise at various levels, and streamline if any technical points are left out. and then organizing Ward Sabha, and then finally Gram Sabha. So one Gram Panchayat may have around, sometimes 4 to 7 to 15 villages also. So usually in a Gram Panchayat, there'll be multiple wards in one single village. So Karnataka has 50% reservation for women in three-tier Panchayat Raj system. So 50% of the presidents of Gram Panchayats are also women. So effective Gram Sabhas is something which we aim to organize, and it is already ongoing. Generally, Narega planning starts from October 2nd of every year for the next year and gets completed by January. But this year, because of Jal Sanjeevani and all the capacity building we had to, all the technologies that we had to train on, and we also have a project management utility app developed by Socion that is also through CSR initiative. So we have pushed the deadline to February, but at least by March 10th, all these plans will be ready and approved at the PP and the ZP levels also. I have to point there. Okay. So these are some of the planning tools which I was already mentioning about. I don't know if the August gathering requires a detailed note also. I can give it later. I'll try to keep it short from here on. So Bhuvan portal or KSR, the Karnataka State Remote Sensing Agency, that is their administrative boundaries of the GPs, which are overlaid on multiple thematic maps that are there, like rainfall, the soil conditions, surface water retention, and a lot of other climatic factors that we need for planning, including the gradient, the slope and everything. And then for overlay analysis, we are using Google Earth Pro, and then Bhuvan of GeoManrega, which is a MORD thing, which is managed by the National Remote Sensing Agency in Hyderabad, NRSA. We are using the Bhuvan GeoManrega for existing geotagged assets to do deduplication. So many times, unnecessarily duplicate assets are taken, and even sometimes it is created, or the bill is raised and the money is paid. So deduplication in any government project is something which we always, give a lot of importance on. And ground truthing using CLAT app, I'll be presenting one single slide on CLAT app later. And Dishank mobile app for survey analysis. And Government of Karnataka Survey and Settlement and Revenue Department is something, we were the first in the country to do the Bhumi project for revenue records. And Dishank is a mobile application wherever in Karnataka, each survey number in Karnataka, survey number is something which is outside the Abadi area or the Gram Thana area of a village. So apart from the coastal districts of Uttar Kannada, part of Uttar Kannada and Dakshin Kannada, that is Mangalore and Udupi, where like Kerala, there is no Abadi concept or a Gram Thana concept. People just build their houses in their fields and they live there. Rest of Karnataka has a concept where in a single survey number there is a village, all the houses and homesteads are in that village, and the agricultural fields are in the survey numbers. So Dishank mobile app, Dishank has all the information of each and every survey number, the dimension of it, the boundaries, the crop being grown there, ownership and everything. So we are using that also for our planning purpose. Okay, already it's there. Okay, this is a map matrix. I won't go into the details of it. So we have divided the activities into three kinds: NRM non-agriculture, NRM agriculture and livelihood, and habitats. Narega has 265 permissible works, but what we realized is that 10 to 12 works were like broadly done, and diversification of Narega works used to not happen. And this time, our effort in Jal Sanjeevani is also diversification of works, so that we can take up relevant maximum works. And the types of works that is there, the features that we use for planning, it is technical in nature, and I can leave the presentation and the thematic maps required. So with great clarity, all this has been conveyed. I have no clue if, okay, let's stop here. So I was saying that, 2 more minutes, is that fine? Okay. So Ridge to Valley concept, the upper ridge, what we'll be taking, I told you, 3 years plan we have. So the kind of upper ridge works that can be taken, indicative in nature we have given, and in the second and final year. So it may not happen to the T, but even if 50 to 60% of, planned things get implemented, definitely there'll be a lot of progress. Next. So this is the outcome of an entire planning exercise under Jal Sanjeevani. This is one KML map that each Gram Panchayat will have. So this map will anyway be encompassing the administrative boundary of the Gram Panchayats and all the basic physical features that are there in the Gram Panchayats. If you see in those boxes where the legends are given, what kind of works one should take, For example, in 23-24 in this particular village, it belongs to Muradi GP, Mundargi Taluk of Gadag district. We have taken how many vegetative checks we have taken, how many boulder checks we have taken, how many recharge structures we have taken and all that. So this is like one single slide which can be presented in Gram Sabha, of course again in Kannada, and then explain that, these are the works which we have to do scientifically, and this is the plan, this is how it is done, and then go for it. Because Narega planning, NRM planning is not just, a democratic participatory process, it has to be scientific as well. So with that justification, this is the outcome of the entire planning process, which again will be uploaded on our websites, our Panchatantra 2. Yeah. So next please. We have given important focus to three things. One is disaster management. So disaster management, I think we have the National Disaster Management Authority, we have district disaster management authorities and everything in between. And usually disaster mitigation prevention is not something, we do. Mostly it is post-disaster, and always there is crop loss, there is water standing, wherever there are floods in agricultural fields, and then assessing the damages and compensating. And urban areas, there is a lot of flooding, all that is happening, and extreme climate events are becoming more and more, frequent. So with that in mind, we are looking at, using Narega as to manage, disaster, to mitigate the disasters, because locally people know where we have multiple maps we have taken from Karnataka State Disaster Management Authority. We have given a complete comprehensively where the drought prone areas are, what are the kind of drought proofing works you can do and how to prepare that plan. And last 3 years, what has happened there, which are the areas that were affected, why they were affected, what we can do about it, what are the nature of works you can take up. Flood affected areas, last 3 years data, where actually the floods happened, was it flooding a national highway, was the water coming into houses, and all your, the fertile soil is washed away, or water is standing, and the standing crops are getting damaged and all that. So flood affected areas mapping we have done for the entire state. And in the coastal areas, especially the Western Ghat areas, landslide prevention, what landslide, sort of activities have happened in the last 3 years, and what are the kind of works we can take up to at least reduce the impact, year on year. This is one thing which we have taken it up. So we call it the disaster management sub-plan within the Jalasanjeevani actual plan. So second, we have taken the grazing land or Gomala development. So traditionally, Gomala is something which is a grazing land, and it is a village common. Just like Gokattes, which are there for water, and ponds and kalyanis and everything, we didn't have to pay for fodder or anything. It was there lot of areas of land, acres and acres of land were earmarked as Gomalas, and which was a community resource, and where we just sent our cattle for grazing. They would just graze and just come back home in the evening, like bringing the cows home. But what we see today is that a lot of it is encroached upon, and then even deterioration has happened in most parts of it. So there is kind of monocropping completely, agricultural fields have come up, and government also is very serious about these kind of lands. If one has to do a land conversion, change of use of a Gomala, even today it has to happen at the cabinet level, not at the deputy commissioner level or any level. So legal constraints are there and there are processes, but still Gomalas are kind of vanishing. And today when we look at our farmers' incomes and everything, whenever they have livestock, they are spending out of pocket to get fodder for their livestock. So I think fodder security is something which we need more focus on in a very structured way. And Narega is a good scheme to actually reach out to each and every place. So for every village, we are having a Gomala sub-plan, first identifying and mapping all the Gomalas that are there, measuring the boundaries and kind of, clearing encroachments wherever it is possible, and scientific development of the Gomala. And wildlife conservation is again something which we have taken. Wildlife conservation in reserve areas, forest reserve areas, where within the forest also some kind of NRM activities that we do with the permission of the forest department. Next, please. So if you look at this map, we have given a model Gomala sub-plan. So to the left, where the Gomala was not actually taken up as Gomala. So many times when I visited different districts and villages, they used to have these contour trenches in Gomala. And Gomala is not there for, of course it is water conservation you have to do, but that is not the main purpose. So our ACS is very fond of saying, why are you creating so many contour trenches? Do all the cows and buffaloes, you want them to go and fall in those pits or what? He keeps saying. So most of our implementing officers, including at the district level, we felt that they had absolutely less understanding of what is a Gomala, why it is a village common, the importance of it, especially in the rural economy and household income. So we have given a very thorough training, and we have created literature, and we have also created templates for how to develop a Gomala. So first of all, they have to do an animal census. It is already there. They can take it, the number of cattle that are there, the milch cattle, the cows, the bigger animals, the smaller animals, goat and sheep that are there, the fodder requirement currently, what is happening, how many acres of gomalas are there, what they have to do. And when they come to the plan itself, what kind of grasses and, shrubs they have to grow, or local varieties to go-kate water sources that they have to do, the boundary plantation that they have to do, and everything in great detail. So this is something which we are very excited about this year, so that we can start renewing our gomalas and again giving back to the community, that this is a community resource for fodder security, and we should retain that way. Wildlife, I think, yeah, please, next. Next. Yeah. Okay, so I'll say next and wait. Okay. Yeah, next. So this is a template of a Gomala subplan, and it is given in Kannada language. This is for your understanding in English, so that the kind of works they can take up, and not necessarily everything has to be mentioned. The total number of works, estimated amount, and wage. We have this wage and material amount and everything. And generally in Narega, it has to be 60% labor and 40% material. So not project-wise. District is a unit for this. Yeah. Next. So diversification of work is something which I was talking. So when we come to disaster management, I was talking about drought prevention. So left side you can see 10-year data of Karnataka, right from no drought to 13 to 14, talukas which are like intensely affected by drought. So we are using this, and this data is just indicative in nature here, but we have this data up to GP level, that is a Gram Panchayat level. So this is a basis we are taking, and you can see that lot of Narega works that are being undertaken are permissible, and that is when we are making the disaster management sub-plan. This is for drought. Next. And this is the next slide, is the flood mitigation. Again, the affected areas is coming in taluk wise. We have put block wise, so we can drill it up to panchayat wise. Heavy rainfall or floods, this data is from 2005 to 2021. Last year data, we're just getting an update, which we will put it. So what are the individual works that can be taken? What are the community works that can be taken? Next. And the last one is the permissible landslide prevention works, and as you can see, it is mostly the Western Ghat region that are there, and all the mitigating activities that we can take. So one CLAT app is something I think I will finish with that. Next. Next. So Karnataka is using an application, mobile application called the CLAT app. So when we talk about geospatial planning, one must have an idea about different layers, overlaying of those layers, superimposing multiple layers, identifying boundaries and all that. So this is something which is like a plug and play sort of a thing, which is very simple, like a workbook. So there are just 4 colors. The entire Karnataka rural areas is divided into 4 colors. So basically the green color that is there on the mobile app, this app is developed by Foundation for Ecological Security and given to Karnataka. They were doing it in 8 districts. I joined Narega last year. So we have taken it as essential part of Jalasanjeevani to all the 31 districts right now. So the green is, areas which has good recharge potential. So, and the yellow is, areas which have moderate recharge potential, and red is surface water harvesting structures are more suitable, and purple is wherever regeneration is happening, especially the forest areas where plantation and grass seeding and stone bunding and all can be taken up. So they just have to go to the spot and then stand there, and then one of the colors will appear. And once the app shows the color, then the list of permissible activities will just, come in the form of a checkbox, and they can just tick the activity that they want to take at that point of time, that particular place. So what work to do, exactly where to situate, is something which is done through CLAT app, and it has been used in Karnataka for the last 2-3 years, and it has evolved, and it has kind of, in a better position right now. And this is something Jalasanjeevani and CLAT app usage and our Antardala Chetana and everything. Karnataka has become a role model to all the states. In fact, recently our ACS and I went to Bhopal to present for all the ministers of the Water Resources Ministry about what we are doing in Jal Sanjeevani. So I also presented in India Water Week that was conducted by Jal Sanjeevani Ministry in Delhi. And Meghalaya government reached out to us and they wanted us to help us out, to plan their NRM works in a similar manner and all. So this is something which has gained a lot of traction, and I must again thank the entire team and all these organizations. We also have other organizations like FES and our Art of Living and a few other organizations which were working in silos in different pockets. So right now we have brought everything together, standardized, institutionalized, and we are implementing it. So, and also with the use of software and technology, we just have standardized all these processes, monitoring and implementation. And I think we will go a long way, and this is something which is very, very important and really nice to know that, there is a lot of knowledge that is going to be generated in this gathering. And I'm looking forward to read all the reports and, whatever presentations you make in the digital format. I would be very interested to look at that. And once again, I thank all of you for a very patient hearing. I hope that, not unlike a general stage thing, it was something of use and a good context to start off your 2-day symposium with. So thanks a lot. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Madam Shilpa Nag. You have given a bird's eye view of NREGA program in the state, and NREGA happens to be one of the largest employment program in the world. So we are proud that Madam Shilpa Nagji is leading this, and what it started in 2005 and 6, today it has undergone a massive change, and there's a lot of technology incorporated in this. And there is application of GIS and various apps being used, and capacity building of the non-governmental organization working in this. And I'm proud to say that Art of Living is the first organization which took up NREGA works, where action plans were prepared, and that provision was made by Government of Karnataka when Maunesh Mudgilji was Principal Secretary RDPR, and well, since then we have been getting a lot of support from Rural Development and Panchayat Raj. Madam, thank you so much for sharing the experience of MG NREGA works in the state of Karnataka. We look forward for much better cooperation in participating with lots of activities that help in improving their rural livelihoods, and also natural resource management, where already this state has put in more than 5,000 crores. Thank you so much, Madam. Now I request Vice Chancellor of Chanakya University, Dr. Yashwant Dongreji to speak.
Very good morning. My eyes are on the clock, and I know that the official time of completion of the inaugural is already consumed, and we have started eating into RT time. So I'll be very brief. First of all, I'm really thankful to Vyakti Vikasana Kendra as well as Art of Living for believing in a greenfield startup and making us a partner in this very, very important event. Chanakya University is just a 10-month-old university, but just to indicate our intent, in the last 10 months, we have already 6 externally funded research projects going on, 3 internally driven, externally partnered research projects going on. As a team at Chanakya, we have already put out some 15 very important publications that include journal articles, working papers, monographs, and books. And we already have accumulated 31 citations, so our H index has started coming up. In other words, though we are a startup, we just opened our eyes and started running. One of the very important focus of our university is multidisciplinary learning. And in our pursuit of doing that, we have started encouraging research in different domains. And one of the centers of excellence that the university is putting up is in the area of biological sciences, which of course is yet to fully take shape. But that's where our research interest in these areas come into picture. Also, more importantly, in our pursuit of putting up multidisciplinary curriculum, we have started a structure of foundational courses where we would like our students to learn addressing a particular challenge from different disciplinary perspective. And one such area is water. Of course, we also have energy as another area. And what I see in the presentation list today here is exactly something like that, where I think we are addressing a question of water from different disciplinary perspective. Therefore, our partnering in this event, I think, is very important for us, for our own endeavors, as well as I think for the research interest in this area. And I'm fascinated with the way this particular seminar is structured, because I think today we are in the first leg of the seminar. And then 1 year down the line, there is going to be a full-length seminar on this issue, which I think in academic structure is a very, very fascinating way of addressing a particular issue. And I am really impressed with this structure. At Chanakya University, we are in the process of actually putting up 4 such international conferences. This is the third of our 4. Actually, our full-length, very important conference in the same venue is coming up later in March this month. That's on the Indian knowledge systems. And after that, in September, we have a very important international conference on Chanakya, his Arthashastra. And after this full-length conference that comes up later in 24 March, we also have another international conference on temple management. So I'm just trying to say that Chanakya University is trying to partner and come out with both research and dissemination activities. We are very happy that we are here today, and we will do our best to partner with these institutions, most importantly in disseminating the research output that comes through this seminar. I think our role would be to link up with the publication process to really make sure that we facilitate very good publication coming out of this conference, which would be of a lot of relevance in the process of the objective of rejuvenating the riverine ecosystem. So that's our role. Once again, I am thankful to the other partners that they have accepted us to be a part of this process. We look forward to this exciting journey. And let me stop by also inviting all of you to find time and come and see the small university that has just come up. We are very close to airport, just 20 minutes from the airport. And 1 year down the line, you will be able to see a very beautiful campus where Chanakya would be pursuing the pursuit of knowledge. Thank you very much once again, and all the best for this conference.
Thank you so much, sir. As the name of this university itself suggests, Chanakya University, you have so strategically placed very close to International Airport, Bangalore, and already with lots of achievements, whether it is research or creating Center of Excellences and collaborating with different organizations. As a first university in the country, new education policy compliant, you are already on a march towards progress. We will all be together with you, and thank you so much. We look forward in terms of publications, because that's very, very important. This conference findings, proceedings need to be taken to the whole world, and that's where Chanakya University can play a much greater role. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I request Sudhir Kumarji to speak few words.
Good morning, dignitaries on the dais and delegates. I am really delighted to be here in a beautiful environment on the occasion of this inaugural function of National Symposium on Resilient Riverine Ecosystem. It is my pleasure to be here with you. All the 100 people are here, and Madam Nag has already explained you most of the things. So I am left with only few things. This is our greed which has destroyed the ecosystem. We have exploited the natural resources in such a way that now we are going to repair it. We are thinking of repairing it, right from the headwaters, starting from the watershed to the confluence of the rivers to the seas. We have destroyed everything. We have springs which are dying in the headwaters, which are the source of your perennial rivers. Then we have industries, which have a lot of industries have come up in between, along the rivers. Cities are there, urbanization is there. We are dumping a lot of pollutants in those rivers. And then we are taking too much of water from the rivers. So in all the fronts, we are destroying the rivers. And if we are destroying the rivers, the ecology is also going to be disturbed. Apart from that, the climate change is another factor which has added on that. So in the last maybe 50 years, people have started thinking of climate change, but in the last 30 years, we are very vocal about the climate change, and we are seeing the effects of the climate change on our whole hydrological cycle. Rain patterns are changing. Your duration of your intensity is changing, pattern is changing. So we are having the variable flows. The flows in the rivers are changing. And that is also going to have a very negative impact on the ecology of the river. So then sediments. Another problem is the large amount of sediment due to the heavy rains which are now occurring in short durations are causing a lot of erosion. And the lot of sediments which are coming to the rivers are again impacting the ecology of the rivers. So we have to, I have just thrown some of the points on which we should discuss and come out with the solutions so that in the future we may protect the ecology of the rivers. Because we have done so much of harm to the nature, now we are thinking of adaptation and mitigation. So we have to somehow maintain a minimum flow in the rivers so that the ecology can develop the hatching of the eggs in the rivers, and then sediments which are there coming. So we have to protect the habitat of the your fish and other fauna or flora which is there in the rivers. So I think we will also learn from the deliberations, people's experience here, and that will help us in taking up the further studies in our institute. As you know, our institute is the national institute, and we are working on all aspects of hydrology. So we have to also plan the things based on the recommendations which are coming out from this seminar, and we already have a MOU with the Art of Living, and we will be working together on these issues in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Representing a very premier institute, National Institute of Hydrology, and with vast experience, you have comprehended the challenges that we are facing, and then preparedness, that's what's required. And these 2 days conferences, this 2 days conference with more than 35 papers will cover a few of these issues. Sir, your participation in the next 2 days is very, very important for us to prepare a roadmap for the coming decade. Because 2030, we have certain, vision, water vision for 2030. So looking forward for that. Sir, thank you so much for your presentation. Now, I request the president of today's function, our chairman, Prasannaji, to summarize.
Thank you. I'm not going to take too much time. I'm not an expert. So the whole purpose of today's conference is to make sure that all good minds come together, well-meaning people, they really care for nature, really care for Mother Earth. Mother Earth has given us so much, but we've taken more than we've given back. So I think it's time to think, it's time to deliberate, and time to come up with some solid action points which we can together execute. So I'd like to thank Dongreji, Shilpaji, Sudhirji, and especially Lingaraju-ji and our entire team who have thought of something like this, putting it together and then actually putting it on ground. I think it's a big credit to the team. Also, in the recent past, I've been also visiting a lot of government offices. I see a lot of energy. which I did not see maybe about 15 years ago, 10 years ago also. I think it's a great opportunity for us to create collaborations and convergence. I think these two things become very, very important, even in our own organization. Where we are doing water work, sometimes agriculture is not happening. Because it is important. Why do you need water? You need for agriculture, you need for potable drinking water. But where is water is happening, agriculture is happening, not happening. So now we are converging, and now central government, state governments, even within the state government, see the leadership we have. She has a clear-cut idea of what needs to happen by such and such a time, where, what. This is the kind of leadership we need. And with the energy that an organization like ours brings, which is very passion and vigor-driven, technical finesse that all of you all bring, I think this marriage is beautiful, this union is beautiful, and I think a lot of good will come from this. And we will definitely make this a yearly affair, sir. Not 1 year and then we'll do a yearly affair. We'll present what we decided this time, what action we took through the year, what we are going to do the next couple of years. So we'll do a clear visioning and missioning so that we don't leave anything to chance, and take advantage of all these young boys and girls. And I mean, some of them are very senior also. Sorry, not all young boys and girls. The senior people also who have come and will participate and add value to this entire process. And I'm very, very grateful that Gurudev has given me this opportunity. I don't have technical finesse, but what I have is, I have the ability to create an administrative setup which can supplement all the activity that you are doing. So again, very, very grateful, and we'll definitely work together. And in the next 2 days, I'm sure we'll come up with something very, very concrete, which can help the state, help the nation, and cooperate in nation building. Yeah. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you so much for your inspiring words, sir. And well, this year itself, we have signed MOUs with various organizations, with this National Institute of Hydrology, University of Agriculture and Horticulture Sciences, and many organizations. ISRO, we have an MOU, and well, the state government is coming. The state government, we did that in 2020 with Rural Development and Panchayat.
Promise few words only this time. So every year on February 2nd, we celebrate the National Manrega Day. So last 2 years, we have instituted Narega Awards at district level, convergence, taluk, gram panchayat. This year especially, we want to honor and felicitate and recognize and thank the contribution of organizations who have wholeheartedly supported us throughout the years. So I welcome Art of Living Foundation, Art of Living team to come on February 2nd to Belagavi Suvarna Sauda for the state level award ceremony and receive the felicitation and our gratitude from our Honorable CM. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for that announcement, madam. This will give us more energy to work strongly towards achieving the goals of creating a very sustainable society in this world, planet Earth. Now, it's time for proposing vote of thanks. Thank you so much for conducting this program of the inaugural. Now I request Niravji to propose vote of thanks.
So, not to be too formal in thanking, let me thank first of all Dr. Lingaraju for conceptualizing this whole thing, because this was his brainchild and through which it has come. Thanking Shilpa ji first of all, acknowledging the efforts that the Art of Living has been making, and it was really a great thing to know what all government has been doing. I think from most of us, most of the things we came to know for the first time what the efforts government has been making. Dr. Dongreji has put the things in front of us, that how Chanakya University is coming out, and we are thankful for partnering with us in this occasion. And Sudhir Kumarji has also shown how his institute is ready to work with Art of Living and others for reviving the system. I'm also thankful to Prasanna ji for setting the tone and also giving us the guidance as to what we have to do in the coming years. Thank you, everyone.
Well, we will now break for tea. I request Vinich ji to escort our guests towards tea, and also we will all join for tea. And exactly 20 minutes later, we will again assemble here for continuation of deliberations of the paper presentation and the deliberations. May I request Vinich ji to come near the dais?
Jai Gurudev, hi everyone.